Slave 1 comes with frozen Han Solo. Action figures each sold separately. Slave 1 has a rear loading ramp.
Oh, hey, do you hear the announcer man talking about Star Wars? Betcha. Yeah, I did, and judging by this nostalgic-looking color palette, I'm gonna guess it's for an original 80s Star Wars toy. And that means it's not looking too good for you, buddy.
Slave 1 with frozen Han Solo, movable cannons, and gravity-operated wings that trigger lock.
You suck.
Slave 1 with frozen Han Solo from Kenner's Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back collection. Action figures each sold separately.
Hey guys, Ultra Maximus back with another retro review, and today we're going to rewind it all the way back to 1980 with an original Empire Strikes Back Slave 1 Boba Fett's ship. Now, I've had this for a number of years. I picked this back up in 2011 from a local comic book store, and I was lucky enough not only to get a complete Slave 1 ship with Han Solo and Carbonite, but also it came with the original packaging. Now, it's obviously seen better times, but I mean, this is from 1980 with the box, and that's pretty darn cool. So let's go ahead and jump in there and take a look at this vintage packaging. So here we have Slave 1's box, and this is very cool. It's so old. It says Kenner, Empire Strikes Back up there, Slave 1. And this is not a reproduction. This is the original. So this is all the toys that you could play with. There's the Carbonite Han Solo. Now, none of those figures actually came with this, except for the Han Solo and Carbonite. It's the only way you could get him. Here's a look at the top of the package. Very cool, and it kind of shows you putting Boba Fett in and using some of the gimmicks up here. Very, very nice. And then take a look at the side. Again, we got Slave 1 down here, the logo, the tape's so old and yellow. It's hilarious. This side of the package, again, kind of shows off the play gimmicks with the little gravity trigger on the back, and you could fly around with it, which was awesome. And then the other side of the package is exactly the same, except it has the original Target price tag on it. So just kind of a closer look. There's the logo. Oh, it looks so amazing. Very cool, very nice. Yeah, definitely neat. And then the original sticker from Target. This was originally $14.99 in 1980. This would be like $120 today, easy. So yeah, just kind of a close-up of the side. Very nice, very cool. That's the same as the other panel. So yeah, more close-ups, just to kind of get a look at it. Very, very nice. And then bottom of the package also has some play gimmicks. So yeah, very cool. Little kid enjoying his Slave 1 and then using the gimmicks, which is very awesome. So that's about it for the packaging. Now, before we actually take a look at Slave 1, let's go ahead and open up the box here. I don't have anything else inside of it, just the box, but I do have the note from the comic book store that said that I purchased this in full on this date right here in 2011, which was crazy. And then on the inside, it's got the slip from Comic Carnival, where I bought it from, and it was $150, box included. So yeah, 150 bucks in 2011. I wonder how much it's worth today. So yeah, very, very cool. What's on the back here? E. coli. Oh yeah, some scrap paper they printed this on. But yeah, definitely very cool. I still have that documentation from when I bought it back in 2011. So that's it for the packaging. Let's go ahead and get this box closed and take a look at Slave 1. So here we have Slave 1 out of the package, and this thing is so great. It's got most of the original stickers on it, which is nice. A couple have fallen off. I've had to dab a little super glue to get it back on there, but yeah, it's got the little ramp, it's got the door, it's got Han Solo and the Carbonite still inside of it, which is nice. So a couple gimmicks here. One, we've got this little lever, and I don't know how well this is going to show up in the camera, but there's a cockpit inside that smoked glass where the figure would move upward, just like it did in the Mandalorian show. Then we got this little handle. All the detail down here is nice. We get little thrusters. Very cool. Just all the detail on the wings. Looks cool. It's got like a satellite dish on it. So the way this worked, you had these wings and they were controlled by gravity. This is the little clicker and it would hold it in place. So you would hold on to it like this, and then you would let go and the wings would drop. And then you could hold on it again and they would stay locked until you let go, and then they would drop. So let's try that again. Boop, there you go. So that was a cool little fun gimmick back in the day. Like how it still works. Very cool, very nice. Just love doing that. Bloop. Love it. Love it. And then it's got the guns. And the guns are actually on a little ratchety joint. It'll go clickety-clickety-click all the way around. So you just kind of spin those any way that you wanted them to, which was a very, very cool. Alright, so let's go ahead and take the back panel piece off. So that just kind of unclicks like this. So there's that. It's still kind of grayish, a little different than the rest of the ship. Alright, so let's take a look at the internal play gimmicks. So there's the little chair for Boba Fett, and then this comes off. It will pop off relatively easy, so don't worry about that. I also have some stickers I gotta put back on to the ship. So, I mean, it's 40-some years old, so... Alright, and then let's get Han Solo out of here. He's kind of tucked underneath. See if we can get him out. There we go. So that's the original Han Solo in carbonite. It was actually black plastic. The reissue is a light gray, so this one still has all the little electronic stickers on the side, which is very cool. I think the reissue is the same mold. It's empty on the inside. They just made it a gray plastic to kind of differentiate the two. Okay, so let's go ahead and put the little door here. Just black plastic. It will clamp into place. It's got a little track on it. So it goes down like that, just like it did in the movie, and you could walk in. So that's pretty cool. You can just kind of hover your Han Solo up the gate, which was very fun back in the day, still is. Now, to get the ramp back up, you're just going to kind of lift it up a little and slide it back in track and click it into place. So it'll come down. You want to lift up and then click that into place just like that. Is how that little gimmick worked, which was very cool, very, very neat, very much like the show. And then you've got the little cockpit up there, and you can store your Han Solo inside. So this little lever worked the cockpit. You can kind of see it lift upright, just like it did in the Mandalorian, which was awesome. So the figure goes there. Now, unfortunately, I don't have a Boba Fett handy. However, I do have a Mandalorian figure from the Fleet Mission. So it's a little bit smaller than a 3 3/4 inch, but this should work. So we're going to take him and we're going to put him in the little cockpit seat. So we're just going to place him in the little clip so that he can hold on and ride. So he fits in there pretty well. So there he is, hanging out. So you put your Mandalorian in there, and then there he goes. He's ready for the cockpit. So, yep, you can kind of see him down there. He's a little guy. But it still works, and, you know, I love the fact that it's after all these years, you can still put him in there, so that gimmick still works there. You just, again, take the little lever. There's your Boba Fett. There he is. Lift him up. There he is. So that's very cool. I love the fact that the Mandalorian kind of did the same thing. The show really showed that off, because we didn't see that in the original Empire Strikes Back movie, which, you know, would have been cool to see a little bit more of. But, yeah, the fact all the gimmicks still work. I've got, I would say, 99% of all the stickers and all the parts. This is just a fantastic piece to have up on my Star Wars shelf. So taking a closer look at the ship itself, I love the design. Always loved Slave One's design. I thought it was very cool. I love the fact that this particular piece has most of the original stickers. A few have fallen off, and a few that are still there fallen off, and I've kind of glued back on. But yeah, this looks good. Love the smoked cockpit. The glass still looks good. The ramp is still there. The Han Solo and Carbonite's still there. The door's still there. It all still works. All the gimmicks are still functional. I mean, they don't make toys like this anymore, especially back then. This was like 15 bucks, but that was kind of pricey, I guess, in 1980, 1981. Now, the one nice thing about this being so old is that it still looks good, right? So it's kind of weathered. Some of the plastic is kind of yellowing. However, Boba Fett's ship was used and abused in The Empire Strikes Back. That was the whole point of the Star Wars universe. It was a used universe, so it still looks good today with all the natural weathering. I can't tell you how much I love this ship. For comparison, here we have the original 1980 to 81 Slave One Boba Fett's ship next to the Mandalorian's Razor Crest. Now, this is from the Mission Fleet series, and I gotta say, these actually look pretty good side by side. Now, from the show, it should probably be reversed on the size comparisons. Of course, the Razor Crest is a different scale. The new play ships are about, I think, at a 2.5-inch scale versus 3 3/4 inch, but you know, costs and all that kind of stuff, and it still looks cool, and it's still fun to see both of these ships sitting up on my Star Wars shelf. So is the original 1980 to 81, not the vintage, that is a reissue, but the original Star Wars Slave One Boba Fett's ship. Something you want in your Star Wars collection. Absolutely. Boba Fett was one of the coolest characters in the original trilogy, and this is by far one of the coolest vehicles from the original 3 3/4 inch toy line. I think the only other ship personally I liked better was the Millennium Falcon, and well, the B-Wing came pretty close to this one, so I'm super stoked I was able to find an original. This was a grail for my collection, and I still have it today and will continue to cherish it. So there it is! The original 80 to 81 Empire Strikes Back Slave One Boba Fett's ship. Thanks for watching. To watch more Ultra Maximus, click on the links to the right. Be sure to click all the things, subscribe, like, and hit that notification bell for new videos, and follow me on all the social medias, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Links in the description below.